Hey everybody, this is Mark Smith. I hope everyone is doing well. And Bethany and I have decided that in order to stay in touch with you, our fans on Facebook and our patrons, and those of you who've been at the theater and have been in our lives for so long, we are going to provide some content that helps you stay connected to the legacy and lets you take a little walk down memory lane at times too. So we are I am starting this kind of inside the legacy studio kind of thing with a lot of our actors, some of our special actors that we've had that have joined us here at the Legacy for several years and have been a part of our journey. And today we are going to talk with one of your favorites, I know, and ours. Miss Amy Bridges is here with us.
Hello.
And how are you in the midst of all this, first of all?
I'm good. I'm very good. I'm like all of us, just trying to navigate it day by day, week by week. But I think I've reached a place of acceptance in the process. 'Cause,
Yes.
there was a while there we had to get through some some stuff there till we
Yeah.
get to the place of acceptance.
So obviously coming off of, now many of our patrons saw you in Mamma Mia, which was
Yeah,
our last show that we just did.
so fun.
One of our biggest sellers, biggest successes ever. So first of all, how was performing in Mamma Mia, and then kind of what happened after Mamma Mia? We got all our shows in. So how was that for you? Like going into the super high and then all of a sudden it
Yeah.
dropped.
Well, first of all, Mamma Mia was a total joy, a total blast. Every performance was just so much fun. The audiences were so wonderful and warm and receptive. And we added shows. It was just the most fun run. As an actor, it was a fun part, and we got to sing and we got to dance, and I hadn't been able to do that in a lot of years, and that was a lot of fun for me. But we had a wonderful cast in Mamma Mia. We were a very close group of actors.
You were very
And
close.
every show is fun, and every show you get close to the actors, but this was a special one. I think all of us involved in the show can say that now, especially, like you said, in light of us realizing how fortunate we were that we got to complete our run before everything with the isolation measures and everything that's happened since, because many of our actor friends did not, and many of us know people that were right in the middle of opening shows
Yep.
when everything just had to shut down. And it was very, very difficult, for the people I worked with in this cast. So I think our cast has bonded over that experience. I mean, we had already bonded anyway, but
And
then
you guys are doing like Zoom meetings as a
we
cast, right?
are, we
Yeah.
are, we're on our fourth one, I think, since we closed coming up. And it's been a good thing for us. It's been a great thing.
Well, I think that's really cool, because one of the things that a lot of people have kind of realized and registered with this whole situation is that theater is definitely a community experience, and it's almost, and you really do have to be in proximity in many times. Video is great, Zoom is great when it's available, but that idea of being in close quarters with another and creating art is really important. And Mamma Mia kind of achieved that both on the stage and with the audiences as well. That came to see
Right.
the thing. So with Amy, fun thing about Amy, and this is our first interview that we're doing here. Fun thing about Amy is I went back and I listed the shows to her. Amy did not know how many shows she had done at Legacy.
I did not.
Couldn't figure it
And
out.
people ask me that question, and I don't know. I don't know a lot.
So I went through, and I think this is the complete list. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it is. So you started with It's a Wonderful Life, which is our second season, right?
Okay.
Live radio play, and then you did Spitfire Grill,
Yeah.
and then Vintage Hitchcock, and then Smoke on the Mountain as June Sanders, which was a huge hit, and a huge hit for you as well.
Sing on sign.
I know. And then Baby,
Yeah.
Sanders Family Christmas. So we did the sequel, and then we did. I'd actually forgotten that you were in Jane Eyre. I was like, oh my goodness, yes, she was in that. And then 9 to 5, Music Man, Appalachian Christmas Homecoming, and then we had a break. We had a hiatus there while your daughter, who we'll talk about in a second, went off to college, and then Always Patsy Cline, and then Mamma Mia. So, and then children's show, Madeline's Christmas,
Mhm.
and then So tell us just which of those shows was your favorite experience, like overall, all around favorite experience to perform it?
That is so hard. Um, Gosh, that is so hard, Mark. But it's a toss up for me. It's funny. It's the last two that I did for you.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, and it's between Mamma Mia and Always Patsy Cline for different reasons. Because I told you how special our Mamma Mia cast and experience was, and it was so fun to get to, sing and dance and do all the fun things that you get to do. And I wore fun clothes, and it was just really fun. But Always Patsy Cline was very special to me as well, because I got to work alongside my dear friend Kelly Dodd, who played Patsy. And she and I are good friends in real life, and we don't ever get to work together or see each other very often. So that was a special bond with her. And plus, the part of Louise was just a ball. I mean, she was just so much fun to play. And it was a large role as well. So it was very challenging to me. So that was exciting and fun, because I really got to go on a long journey in that character.
Would you say that Patsy Cline, as one of the most fun, was also one of the most was the most challenging, or one of the most challenging?
I think so. For me, it probably was, because it was me on the stage for 2 hours talking, and then Kelly would sing songs in between. And so physically, it was challenging for me, just from a physical standpoint too. I didn't realize how much that was going to challenge me physically, and take out of me just, physically. But of course, I never knew it while I was on stage. It was just, I was on this huge high, and the audience, I felt like the audience and I were just together, and we were just sharing 2 hours together, 2 to 3 hours together. And it was so fun. I mean, it was a big challenge. It was a big challenge.
So tell me a little bit about your early training in terms of your career before even Legacy even happened. So you're coming to this Always Patsy Cline, which is such a huge role, such a huge challenge. So what did you do? What career ideas, what things did you do before even Legacy started out? Even when you were young, what were you wanting to do?
Right. Well, I started out, I was a child actor, and I grew up in Marietta, Georgia. So I did everything that a child actor in Atlanta, Georgia could do in that era. That was the 1970s and the 1980s. And my first professional role was at the Alliance Theater. I was 11 years old, and I got to be in a production of The Miracle Worker at the Alliance Theater. So I started out at one of the premier regional theaters in our country. Was my first real experience doing theater. And so I just it set me on a course, on a path that I didn't even know I was going to be on. But I kept working. I did commercials. I did voiceovers. I did lots of theater growing up, worked in the theme parks like Six Flags and Opryland. Ended up going to the University of Georgia and majoring in theater, which I wasn't going to major in theater. When I got there, I was going to be a journalism major, I thought. And then I realized how competitive that was. And I went over to the theater department just because I was so missing it so much. And as soon as I got there, I felt at home, and they put me in their shows. And that was, that's all. And then I became a theater major after that. I had a great time at University of Georgia, majoring in theater and doing all those things. After college, I ended up working in a lot of different theaters across the Southeast mainly. But I ended up joining the union and everything during that era, because I was working all the time, mainly musical theater. Mm-hmm. Did a lot of ingenues, a lot of lead roles as ingenues in musical theater, some cabaret, but nonetheless, I kept working. And then actually had one opportunity with a soap opera at one time in New York.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yep. I got in the office. I got in the casting offices of all my children at one point in my career, before children. And I was married at this point, and so we were there. And they told me what I needed to do, and I was about 27 years old, I guess, at that time, and I had been married already for about 3 years. And something in me just said, no, this is not really what I'm not going to move to New York, and I'm not going to do what they're saying I need to do. And I just really felt strongly that I just really that wasn't my path, and I was going to start a family. So I came back to Atlanta with John, my husband, who has always been supportive and would have moved to New York with me at that time.
Oh, wow.
He wasn't working for the company he works for now then, so he had a job where he was more flexible. And he would have moved with me, and it just didn't seem right, didn't feel right. I had been told over and over many times, this is what you need to do. You need to change this. You need to do that. And I was just like, no, I really just want to be a mom. I want to have a baby and see if I can have a baby.
So you have two?
Yes, I have two daughters. They're both grown now. Hillary is my oldest, and she is married and lives here in Atlanta and with her husband and is doing well. And then Mary Grace is a junior in college right now. She goes to school out on the West Coast at Pepperdine University, and she's majoring in education. And she was a legacy baby.
That's right. And I just found a video, and I might put it on here, a video of her auditioning for Honk Jr. I think she was, did I show you that one? Did I show you that video of her?
I'm not sure if it was in her senior montage that y'all put together.
Well, it might have been in there. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look, but I'll share it with you. Yeah. So Mary Grace started with us when she was what, 7, 8?
About 8.
8. Yeah. And has performed professionally with us in our professional shows as well.
3 professional shows with you.
Yeah. So then here comes Legacy into your backyard. I mean, you're
right.
living.
I had a hiatus. I had done a little bit of theater still in Atlanta, off and on, even after I became a mom. Really not pursuing it though, to be honest. I was just, I had been lucky enough to know some people who were still offering me parts at like Theater of the Stars in Atlanta, kept hiring me through some of those years. But I really hadn't done a whole lot when you guys opened the theater in 2006, 7. I'd had a little hiatus, let's put it that way. And so I always said when the Legacy opened, it was sort of a return again for me, to performing. And I know you guys thought that the Legacy Theater was just for you guys when you opened it up. And I said, I think the Legacy Theater was for me. I think that you came to Tyrone, Georgia, and I was down in Peachtree City at that point in life, raising my children. And I always said, I think it was for me.
Well, we like to be for everybody. We like to give a piece of pie for everybody. I think that's important. We are a local theater, but we have high aspirations and high standards as well. And you've always appreciated that, and you've always brought your such wonderful talent and such wonderful positivity to our shows as well. So we're so thankful for that. So we kind of came around. We started with Wonderful Life, which was It's a Wonderful Life live radio show. Well, of course, we knew each other through Landmark Christian School.
That's right.
Because Mary Grace and Hillary went there, and then I was teaching. That's why Bethany and I moved from New York, is because I got a job down there at Landmark and taught drama there for 4 years. We opened Legacy right in the middle of my teaching there. So then we already had a relationship there through Landmark, and then coming into Legacy. So tell me just real quick I guess the biggest thing is, both as an actor in your professional career, your journey in Legacy, things you've learned, things you've appreciated, but also just kind of ending the interview with talking about, because this is kind of the environment we're in right now, is why is Legacy important, and why is live theater important, and why do we need to continue to make sure that this survives through this crisis, which it really is. So tell me a bit about your experiences through it, and then kind of wrap it up with why it's important.
Well, probably what I'm about to say is nothing new that, that a lot of people haven't said about why it's important. I mean, the opportunity, anything in the arts, our culture needs the arts. We know this as actors. We know that our culture and our souls need it. Coming into the theater for me, my medium has always been theater, live theater. And you already touched on it. You said how we come into that theater and it's a collective experience. And there's a collective experience among, just as you're sitting in the seats as an audience member with the other audience members, then it's between you and the actors on the stage. And what theater can do for us is it can just, you spend 2 to 3 hours together, and it can do a lot of different things for us. The lofty answer is it gives us, it changes our perspectives on the world that we live in. It shines a spotlight on us as a culture. It can give us new perspectives. It can it can do all those really lofty ideals, but also it can just help us escape the harsh realities of our lives sometimes, and come into a theater and when you weren't feeling so good and leave just feeling uplifted because you've laughed and you've been taken on a journey with these actors on the stage who just made you feel better. And those are my favorite shows that I do at Legacy, are the ones that do that for people. And those are my favorite roles. That's why Mamma Mia and Always Patsy Cline and The Sanders Family, both of those shows, those are my 3 favorite shows I've done at Legacy, because the audience has loved them so much. And sometimes I move to tears when I go to the theater, in a good way, because it's just so beautiful and it's just so gorgeous. The singing or whatever it is, or the storytelling is so gorgeous. I mean, so laughter is good too. That's a release too. Theater just has the ability to do all these things for us, and move us, and it's done in community with each other. And so it's a way that we can, it's one of the best ways that we can get together in a communal setting and express ourselves. So it's important. I think after this is all over, we're going to be craving these kinds of experiences where we get to come together and sit in those seats together and watch people perform for us and take us on a journey and help us escape. So the theater is just important for so many reasons, but I also think the reason the Legacy Theater specifically for our community is so important is all that you offer the children and the teens that come there for classes. That's just as important as what I think you do on the main stage and provide for all the adults and other people that come to the Legacy Theater. But a place for children to come and have the chance to be themselves and express themselves, or explore what even that means, because some children don't even know what that means to express themselves. It's just a gift, and it helps children, all children. It doesn't matter what child. Everybody is going to benefit from that kind of experience, that kind of training. It helps whether they're going to pursue a career in the arts or not. It helps them become lifelong communicators, helps them stand in front of a group of people confidently and express themselves and be able to do the things that help, people just do well in life. So I think that's as important a reason why Legacy has to stay in our community, is for all that you do for all the hundreds of children that come through there, that you train and allow and give a home to some of those kids who really don't have any other place to be, but Legacy is just the right fit for them. And so that's the other reason it's so important. Did I say that well?
Yes, I couldn't have said it any better. So I appreciate that. Bethany and I both appreciate that, and know that we do appreciate you and all that you've provided for Legacy over the years, and the sharing of your talents and your support. And we will be back, and we will have Amy back on our stage. And if we have to bring Mamma Mia back, just to get us through this thing when it's all said and done, we've already talked about it. We'll just bring that show right on back onto the stage.
One thing I want to say is how good you and Bethany are to us actors who work for you. I want the audience who might be watching this to understand that that it's a special place, that you and Bethany are wonderful producers and directors, and provide a place for actors from all over the country to come and work. And I've heard it from more than one actor that I've worked with at Legacy. They come in if it's their first show with you, for example. I heard it during Mamma Mia. You had some people who had never worked for you before and who came into that show, and they'll say, this is like no other place I've ever worked. They are so kind to us. And sometimes actors don't always have that experience at theaters. And just like life, every work environment you have in your life may or may not be a good one. So, but they're always just so taken aback by how much respect, how much kindness and professionalism they receive working at Legacy. And they love being there the whole time. It's a good experience. I hear the word kind a lot about you and
I
Beth.
love that. I love that.
That you're kind. So, and you also care a lot about your patrons because, you know, you listen to your patrons, you care, you value their opinions and what they want to see. And I feel like that's why you did Mamma Mia, right? Is because the patrons wanted it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so that's nice too, for the patrons to understand that you do value them and their opinions of what they want to see. I think it's nice as a patron of the Legacy too. I'm a patron. I'm a season ticket holder. I come see your shows. And so I just think it's nice to know that we can kind of trust that you're going to put on things that we want to see as well, and that we're going to enjoy, that your audience. And that's a bonus.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And that was one of our mission things. We realized that we needed the support of our local community, and we needed to listen to them, and we wanted to be a family theater. We wanted to be.
You are a family theater. That's the whole word. Legacy is a family.
Yeah.
Every actor who ever works there will tell you that. Yeah. And I feel it now because I've worked for you for a lot of years now, since the very beginning almost. So when I return to a show at the Legacy, it's so much fun because I just feel like I'm sort of at home, and that people in the audience actually know me a little bit. I mean, they don't really know me, but we get to greet people in the after the shows in the lobby, and that is the most fun because they'll tell me they saw me in this show or that show. That's just the best. I just feel really blessed that I even have that kind of a community to come back to. So
yeah, Bethany and I always joke, and we always say we're gonna have to bring Amy in for this one. We got to get Amy's fans in there. So
oh gosh, fans. Okay. One of the things you thought you were going to ask me was, why do I keep returning to the shows or performing at Legacy? I said, because you're really kind enough to ask me to come back. That's the bottom line. You're kind and gracious and ask me to come back. So that's why I keep performing at the Legacy Theater. You asked me to. So that's the bottom line.
Well, thank you, Amy, for all your words. Thank you for being the first interviewee, and I think this is going to be great. I think our patrons are going to love this, and we hope to have patrons. Just so you know, we hope to have many more of these. Well, we'll go as long as we need to go, but just also know that season 15 is on sale now, and we would love, love, love for you to go ahead and reserve those season tickets. It helps us right now, and
yes.
And we just so look forward to seeing you when all this is said and done, and we will get through it, and we will survive, and we'll be better for it. Thank you, Amy.
All right. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.